everyone. I'm Sodela and I'm the leader of Group 5. Good day! I'm Danilo.
Good day, I am Divine.
Good day, I am Daniela, Audrey, Carbonel.
Good day everyone, my name is Daniela, Lalaine, and Rivas.
Good day everyone, my name is Stephani, and I am the assistant leader of Group 5.
Last but not the least, I am Andrea di Bagalacsa.
Today, we are asking junior high school students about the practices and challenges they experience among Jeepneys and Tricycles in Don Carlo Cavina School, elementary and junior high school building.
Good morning everyone! Ngayon naman may nakuha tayong grade 8 student. So kuya, what's your name po? So, magtatanong lang kami sa'yo about some questions about our topic. So, our first question is, how do you commute to your school? Is it jeepney, trike, or both?
Trike po.
Trike lang. Okay. How far do you travel and how long does it take you?
10 to 15 minutes.
Okay. How do you travel? Is it expensive? Is it tiring?
Expensive.
Is it tiring? Nakakapagod ba yung biyahe mo from... Okay. What are some of the reason why people commute?
Kasi po, malalayo po yung bahay po nila sa schools.
Okay. Sa tingin mo kuya, ano yung mas convenient? Ang pagtitake ng school bus o ang pagkukommute?
Pagtitake po ng school bus para po tipid. Para isang bayaran naman.
Okay. Sa tingin mo, mas tipid ang school bus kaysa sa araw-araw na magkukommute. Okay. In your viewpoint, what are the advantages and disadvantages of commuting?
Advantage po is pwede po kayo makarating sa destination nito na mabilis po tsaka maaga. Ang disadvantage naman po yung pamasahe.
So, thank you kuya. Thank you.
Good day, ngayon nandito kami ngayon sa Don Carlo building para mag-interview ng isang commuter for our research. So, the first question is, how do you commute to your school? Jeepney ba or trike?
Jeepney and trike.
So, doble po. Dobleng gastos. So, how far do you travel and how long does it take you?
Cavite to Las Piñas.
From Cavite, no? So, how long does it take you? Gano'ng katagal bago makarating sa school?
More than 10 minutes.
So, inaagahan mo yung pagpasok mo. Siyempre, anong oras ka nagigising?
5 o'clock.
5 o'clock, tapos ready ka pa. Tapos sasakay ka ng alas 6. So, makakarating ka dito. Anong oras na pasok mo?
7.
7. So, sakto-sakto pala, no? So, how do you travel? Is it expensive? Is it tiring?
Magastos po.
Nakakapagod din. Siyempre, pagpasok tsaka pag-uwi, di ba? Next question is, what are some of the reason why people commute? Ano ba yung mga rason nila kung ba't sila commute?
Less pagod.
Less pagod kasi nakaupo ka lang, no? So, in your viewpoint, do you think that commuting is much expensive kaysa sa paglalakad? Mas mahal ba?
Mas mahal po kasi po yung paglalakad, pagod lang naman po yung effort.
Tama. So, in your viewpoint, last question na to, in your viewpoint, what are the advantages and disadvantages of commuting?
Mga advantages po, less po ng traffic pag gumamit ka ng sasakyan. Kasi po, pag gumamit ka ng sasakyan, pwede po magkaroon ng aberya o traffic. Tapos, disadvantage po, tawag dito? Disadvantage po nito, ng pagko-commute ay nasusukla naman po, minsan.
Tama. Nabibigyan ka ba ng discount?
Minsan po.
Hindi. Diba? Yun yung disadvantages natin. So, yun, maraming salamat.
Tayo sa Don Carlo Cavina at kasama natin si Kuya, ano pong pangalan?
Hello! Catalunya.
Section?
Section St. Cecilia.
Yun. Kuya, may tanong ako sa'yo. Okay lang po ba?
Opo.
How do you commute to your school? Jeepney ba o trike?
Mag-jeepney muna bago mag-telegram.
Oh. How far do you travel and how long this is take you?
Malapit na ako sa SM, so mga 5 to 10 minutes lang.
Minsan po, kuya nakaranas kayo ng traffic kaya nalilate kayo, gano'n.
Opo, madalas po sa labas traffic.
Okay. And what are some of the reason why people commute? Para sa'yo,
Siguro sa kailan din ng panahon sa Pilipinas. Kasi dagdag ako, kaya hangat talaga ngayon sa Pilipinas. Kaya marami nag-commute. Lalo na pagkasama ako, nag-commute talaga kami. Sila mainit talaga.
ito naman kuya, how do you travel? It is expensive po ba para sa
Mahirap lang ako. Wala akong pera. Mahal lang.
In your viewpoint, do you think that commuting is much expensive po ba kaysa sa pag ng school bus?
Hindi, kasi mas sa totoo lang, mas mahal talaga ang school bus kasi hindi lang sa gaano kalayo yung mediumation nila, pati yung sinasama nila sa bayad ng school bus ng gas. Siyempre yung panahon din. So, ano. Kaya mas madali nila mag-commute, lalo na pagkasama ako kasi masaya ako sa ako.
Yun. In your viewpoint, what are the advantages and disadvantages of commuting?
Advantage na siguro mas mabilis ka makakapunta sa panahon, sa pupuntahan mo. Pati maiwasan mo yung init. Tapos disadvantage, siguro pag wala kang pera katulad ko, may hirap na ka talaga.
Sige po, salamat.
Good afternoon, sir. May I conduct an interview regarding our research?
Yes, of course.
Thank you so much. So, our first question is all about, do you think commuting is essential in terms of time, money, and safety for students here at Don Carlo Cavina School?
Okay, first you ask the question, is it essential
Yes.
for time?
Yes.
Okay, money and
Safety.
safety.
Yes.
Maybe what you're trying to say is commuting does commuting is the time, or is it important when it comes to time,
Yes.
money, and safety? First, time. Nowadays, we all know that commuting is one of the hardest things or activities in our everyday lives, because here in Las Piñas, we all know that bumper-to-bumper traffic is a given factor.
It's true.
Yes. So, when it comes to time, of course, we have to be very cautious, because when you say you're late, it's not always an excuse to say because it's bumper-to-bumper traffic. Because
Yes.
nowadays, it's always given. When it comes to money, of course, it's also very significant, because when you commute, you pay. And nowadays, the transportation prices are getting high, as our products are also getting higher. So that's also significant. And when it comes to safety, of course, safety is also a factor when it comes to commuting, right? Because when you commute, there's also a tendency for you to commit an accident or an untoward incident. For example, just like snatching, or we don't want to happen, but accidents like that.
It usually happens. But sir, are you aware that some of those drivers didn't give that specific pamasahe for those students, di ba? They didn't value that discount.
Yeah,
What would be your side in that?
well, I already encountered some drivers who are not following the fare rules, or the
Yes.
transportation fare law, wherein students are entitled to certain discounts, and also PWDs and senior citizens.
Yes.
Of course, sometimes when I hear those students or senior citizens complaining about they did not receive a discount, sometimes I feel like I feel what they feel. Like it's unjust, it's unfair, and the proper or the proper implementation of the law was not provided to them. So I feel angry with those drivers because they're so selfish. No? They should give what is supposed to be given, especially if it is mandated by them.
So, as a professional, how do you react to your students who came to school late because of commuting?
Well, again, just like I mentioned before, commuting, becoming late, and having an excuse as because it's bumper to bumper traffic is not a valid reason. Because again, I told you a while ago, bumper to bumper traffic here in Las Piñas, not only in Las Piñas but in many areas of Metro Manila are already given. So what you can do is to always act on time and always act in an earlier time. That's the best way. So if you have to wake up earlier, that's compared to what you are supposed to prepare for. So that will reduce your probability of being late if you prepare ahead of time or if you prepare earlier.
How about you, sir? Have you experienced common challenges or circumstances in commuting?
Of course. Of course, number one is the travel time.
Yes.
The travel time. Usually, I go home. Yes, I go home. My travel time is almost 1.5 hours or 2 hours. Here from Las Piñas to Dasmariñas because I live in Dasmariñas. So that's one of the problems. Another one is to expend the high transportation fare because I live in Dasma, so I have to ride 2 to 3 transportation vehicles, and that takes 100 pesos two-way travel. Yeah, so every day I have to spend 100 pesos for 1 or 2 hours of time travel. So every time I commute, when I arrive at my destination, I feel like I'm already exhausted. Yes. And when you go home, you come late because you arrive late also because of the traffic. So it's too much effort and you are drained already of your energy because of commuting.
It's really tiring.
Yes.
It happens.
Yeah, and not only that, because of the pollution, right?
That's one big
Yeah, because nowadays our environment is not safe anymore because of too much pollution produced by vehicles.
Yes.
So
can you suggest a solution on how to handle uncertainties you experience during commuting? Can you give them tips how to prevent things happen?
well, I already mentioned it before. You have to prepare earlier to avoid bumper-to-bumper traffic, especially during rush hours. Okay. Another one is when you commute, make sure that you are very vigilant. You're very cautious of your surroundings because nowadays there are many, snatchers or people who have bad intentions.
Especially to students, right?
Yeah, especially to students. Students are very vulnerable. So always be cautious. Always make sure that you check your left and right, and be observant to everyone that surrounds you. Make sure that you always keep safe of your valuables, your cell phones. You don't expose it much.
Especially students, they all go with their cell phones.
Yes,
while
nowadays,
walking.
yes. And there's even a tendency that you bump yourself because you don't know that there's already a blockage on your in front of you. You don't even notice it because you're all busy with using your cell phones or your gadgets. Yeah, so you have to be always alert. What else? And always fight for your right. If you are a student, always impose your right. Always make sure that you have discounts. Yes. What else? And another tip is when you ride in a public transportation, be courteous enough, be generous enough.
Yes.
Because some people will ask you, oh, bayad po, pwedeng makisuyo. And some would just ignore them,
Yes.
diba? I myself, every time I ask someone to bring or to give my fare to the driver, after giving it to the driver, I would say to the person, oh, thank you so much, thank you po, something like that. But people nowadays, they do not do that. I don't even hear some say thank you po, salamat po. Most of them, but of course I still hear some. Yes. What else? Wear mask as much as
Yes, sir.
possible,
Yes.
because again, I already told you, pollution is very rampant, so protect yourself. Yes.
So,
Because the surroundings nowadays is very toxic, especially the air.
especially there is a virus.
Yeah,
that's-
especially the virus, the COVID 2019.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much, sir.
That's it.
Yes, sir. Thank you so much.
Yes, you're welcome. It's my pleasure. And if you need anything, just don't hesitate to come. Anything.
Ala, sinisingil na ng driver. Ala, wala akong pambayad. Paano kaya to? Nagastos ko na kasi lahat kanina sa school eh.
Bayad po, saan to? Sige, sige. Akin na yun ang... Saan na yun? Diyan, kanan.
Kuya,
Gilid lang ha.
meron pa ba? Kasya pa ba?
Marami pa. Kasya pa dito.
Sabi mo yan, kuya, ha?
O, yung ano ha, sa kanan. O, paurong dito para makalis na.
Ano ba yan, kuya? Hindi naman kasya eh.
Kasya pa yan. Sampuan yan eh.
Kalahating puwet ko na lang
O,
nakaupo.
sumusog na lang para makalis na.
Ayan! Kuya, wala nang yan.
Kasya nga yan.
Kuya, 10 na kami dito, hindi na to siyam.
Sakto lang.
Ate, pwede po akong magtanong? Ate, alam mo po ba to? Kasi bago pa lang po ako dito eh.
Hala,
Hindi ko po talaga
tinatanong niya ako.
Baka naman po pwede niyo ituro yung way.
Papansinin ko ba siya?
Dali na po ate.
Ano sasabihin ko?
Baka pumaligaw kasi ako eh.
Kinakabahan ako.
Tapos bago lang po ako dito.
Baka
galing
kasi
po
mali
ako
yung
sa-
masabi ko
Hindi
eh.
na po nakasakay sa jeep.
Ano kaya?
Pero, tignan mo ba yung ganda dito? Hindi na ako nakapunta dito eh.
Ano ba yan? Naglalaro ako eh.
Lagi ka na lang ganyan. ML ka na lang ng ML.
Ano ba? May ginagawa, tatapusin
Kahit saan tayo
ko lang
magpunta,
to.
ML, ano ba yan? Sino ba mas mahalaga? Ako yung
Isang
ML mo?
game lang.
Nakakainis na lagi na lang ganyan.
Isang game nga lang eh. Tatapusin ko lang to. Mamaya bumaba pa ako eh.
Ewan ko sa'yo. Mag-iwalay na lang tayo.
Sabi mo, hindi ko.
O, sapote na, sapote na. Sino bababa dyan? Sapote na, sapote na. O, bababa ah.
Kaya saan na to, kuya?
Sapote.
Wala, kuya, manuk lang ako.
Alam mo ba yun, Nobel?
Grabe yun, Be! Nakita mo yun?
Napahiya sabi, grabe.
Grabe, sobrang nakakahiya,
Tapos
Be!
ano? Eh, Be, yung napalitaan yung Be. Ano ba
Basta
yan?
nag-CR kasi ako nun.
Ano, Be? Ba't hindi mo napalitaan?
Ano nangyari? Ano nangyari?
Nadulas siya! Nakakahiya siya!
Ayun ba yun? Totoo?
Oo! Alam mo ba yung kamay niya? Bumok!
Itong mga kabataan na to, napakaingay.
Bumok